Hi. Y'all, I had a crazy time getting set up here. I'm still a little flushed, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here. But yeah, I had to fan myself. What a day. I've had a rough day, guys. Uh, but everything's all right, or it's going to be all right. I won't even get into it, but yeah. I thought it would be nice to come on and read a little bit tonight. I didn't see anybody else live anyway, and why not me? Why not me? So hi to, let's see who's here. Matthew, I see Mick Yankee 84, Keysmo, Cecil. I don't know if I missed anyone. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I look all flushed. I fell a little. Like I slipped off of my chair and, I didn't get hurt or anything. I didn't fall hard. And I had to go to the urgent care today just to like deal with something that it's thankfully it's not as big a problem as I thought it was, but I did miss work. I'm probably gonna miss work tomorrow just to sleep some to rest because man, it's ugh. But I had a good dinner. I know, guys, it's hard, but I was strong. I pulled myself up. But yeah, that's why I'm a little flushed right now. I got all, ugh, hot having to pull myself up. Mm. And I got a Starbucks, a flat white. Okay, enough. Enough. I'm still kind of hot though, man. Like my cheeks, I can feel it. I've had a bit of a fever this morning too. I don't know. When I went to the urgent care clinic, though, I didn't have a fever or anything. Like all my vitals were fine. So good to know. But I'm so sensitive. I look and sound great. Well, that's that's important. Okay. We're back with Fascinating Womanhood. That was a terrible presentation of the book. Fascinating Womanhood. Let's get into it. Let's learn how to be fascinating women, shall we? All right, chapter 3. Accept a man at face value. Ooh, let's go womanhood. If you want to win a man's heart, you must be willing to accept him at face value and not try to change him. A few years ago, Norman Vincent Peale, author of The Power of Positive Thinking. Hey, I've read that book. Anybody else read that book? Delivered an impressive lecture before a large audience. After the lecture, as was customary with Dr. Peale, he allowed time for questions which he answered over the pulpit. One of these questions, written by a woman, went something like this. I have tried to make a good home, be a good mother, and a devoted wife, but things have not worked out very well. The trouble is that my husband has not put forth equal effort to make our marriage successful. Then she listed many of his faults, some of which were he neglects his children, spends money foolishly, drinks, is cross and difficult to live with. Her question to Dr. Peale was this: after 25 years of marriage, is there any hope that he will change? Girl. Unlikely. One couldn't help but sympathize with this woman who apparently had not given up hope. While anticipating the answer, I thought to myself, he will probably give her a lecture on the power of positive thinking and tell her not to give up hope. But to my surprise, he gave no such answer. Dr. Peale looked sternly at the audience and said with aggravation in his voice, Don't you know that you should always be willing to accept a man at face value and never try to change him? This assumes, of course, that her husband was not an abusive man or a non-recovering and alcoholic. This truthful message should be known to women everywhere. No other quality is so vital, so fundamental. It is the foundation of understanding men. You must accept a man at face value, or you cannot win his celestial love. What does face value mean? In the business world, it has a specific meaning. It is the amount a bond or an insurance policy, etc., is worth today or now. If held for a number of years, it would or could be worth a good deal more, but it does have a specific value now. And what does face value mean in reference to a man? It means what he is worth today, just as he exists now, with no changes made. What does accept a man at face value mean? It means that we recognize him as a human being who, like ourselves and all other human beings, is part virtue and part fault. It is a very honest approach. We realize that the faults are there, but we are not concerned about them, for we accept the total man. If he wants to change on his own, that is his business. We are satisfied with him as he is. Acceptance does not mean tolerance, that we realize he has serious faults, but we will put up with them. Nor does it mean dishonesty, that we must convince ourselves that he is perfect, even though he is not. Nor does it mean resignation. When you accept a man, you see him as a total man and are content with what you see, and prove your contentment by not trying to change him. Yet women everywhere are trying to change their husbands. My hair, y'all. A young woman confessed to me that soon after marriage, she began making a long list of her husband's faults, which she had every intention of changing. She thought it was her duty to improve him. How women try to change or improve their husbands. In which ways do women try to improve their men? They fall into several different categories and are as follows. 1. Personal habits. There are such things as poor eating habits from a nutritional standpoint, poor table manners, neglect of his appearance, poor spelling and grammar, bad temper, depressed moods, careless driving, untidy habits, especially in leaving things around the house, and a failure to hang things up or put things away in the proper place. I wouldn't know anything about being untidy. Lack of courtesy, swearing, smoking, and excessive drinking. 2, how he spends his time. Many women make an effort to change their husband's use of his time to better advantage. They complain that their men spend too much time away from home with the boys, in sporting events, church responsibility, and other outside activities. Spend too much time watching TV or napping on the couch or in the bathroom. Some complain that their husbands have too many irons in the fire, which tend to always be in a hurry. Many men fail to come home on time or to bother to call their wives when they are going to be late. Number 3, duties. Many women make an appeal to men when they fail to perform their home duties, such things as neglect of home repairs, yard work, painting, and fixing. Some women complain that their men are undependable on their jobs and fail to follow through, that they fail to pay bills and neglect church duties and other duties, and that they are lazy, shiftless, and therefore unsuccessful. 4, social behavior. Some wives complain that their husbands brag too much in public, talk too much, others talk too little, and many do not say the right things and are careless in their conversation. Others don't treat people properly. That is a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand when you're like, which is another aspect of dating, is like observing how your man treats people, like in service, or like how they conduct themselves with strangers. It is something I'm always like very keenly aware of, because I like, I like a first class life and experience, and I don't like to, offend people unnecessarily. And it's very difficult when you're out with a man and he doesn't know how to behave himself properly. But it's just manners, y'all. Just manners. That's all. I can't stand a mofo with no manners. Okay. Lacking courtesy, and many men do not select friends that please his wife, and also fail to appreciate the friends which the wife chooses. Okay, gosh. 5, desires and dreams. Many women complain about their husband's aspirations and say that they have no ambition or zest for living, that they underestimate themselves, do not have a desire to better themselves. Some cannot make up their minds what they want out of life and move from one dream to another. Others have no imagination and let the world go by without them. Some men's dreams seem too wild and impossible to fulfill. Hello to Burning Bush's channel in the chat now. Thank you for the like. Come on, guys, are you watching? Did you hit like? Did you hit like for me? For Terri? Do it for Terri. She had a rough day, guys, but she's still here. Okay. 6, manly accomplishments. Some women urge their men to be more successful as other men are. Some complain that their husbands fail to lead and guide their families, are indecisive, worry too much about past mistakes, are too hasty in judgment without finding out the facts, and do not have good ideas. 7, money. Some wives complain that their men do not manage money well, spend money foolishly, are stingy with money, and spend large amounts without consulting his wife. 8, neglect of children. Women make appeals to men to take more responsibility in the care and training of the children. 9, religion. Women often complain that their husbands will not attend church, will not listen to their religious ideas, and are not interested in religion. Where can we find the perfect man? Why do women try to change their men? In many instances, it is because women become irritated with their men. They have not accepted them at face value and therefore find their faults difficult to live with. But more frequently, and especially among women of high caliber, it is quote unquote for his own good. These women say, if you really love and care about someone, it is important to see that they get the best out of life. Therefore, I must change my husband for his own good. If a man is truly blind to his own mistakes, and this blindness causes him to get into difficulty or fail to reach success, it is important for his wife to wake him up. But once he realizes his mistake, and if he chooses to continue making it, she should not persist in the matter. But, his wife might say, my husband's faults are robbing him of basic happiness. Therefore, I must change him so that he can be happy. This seems like a noble aim. What possible reason could we have against it? There are 5 reasons why women should not try to change men, and they are the following. 1, it causes marriage problems. 2, it can destroy love. 3, it doesn't work. 4, it can cause a man to feel resentful. And 5, it creates marriage problems. It's interesting because number 1 was it causes marriage problems, and number 5 is it creates marriage problems. So it causes problems and it also creates problems. What is the difference between cause and create, I wonder? I don't think this is the best written book I've ever, there's many little things I'm noticing as I'm reading, like split infinitives and the wrong pluralities used, little things like that in this book. I have to say, while I'm reading, I'm often correcting it for you guys. What do you all think so far? I do think they're right, though. I do think it's terrible when women try to, like, change their men. I mean, why are you with them if you want him to be somebody else, Even though a wife may set out to remake her husband with the best of intentions, it can set in motion marriage problems which can become serious. In the first place, it can create a terrible tension in the household. The wife may suffer tension because of her concern for her husband's faults. She may worry about the consequences of his behavior. Then when she sets out to change him, she creates additional tension in that he resists the change. Children too suffer when they become aware of the tension existing between the parents. Another problem created by trying to change a man is that it crushes his ego. A man is proud in spirit. He knows his weaknesses, but he wants you to think of his better side. Remember, the important element in a man's happiness is admiration from his wife. This is his daily bread. Your suggestions that he is not acceptable threaten his security, just as you would be made to feel insecure if you felt that he didn't love you. Also, pushy suggestions and efforts to remake a man often irritate him and make his life unbearable. Often he will escape his unhappy feelings by spending time away from home, in the company of others, or in pleasures which compensate for his misery. Oh dear. Still, another problem which can occur is that of a wedge which can grow between man and wife, cutting off communication between them. The husband may become distant and withdrawn. He may live in the same house with his wife, but seldom speak to her. Often this lack of communication on the part of the husband can be traced to his feeling that he is not accepted at face value. It is difficult, if not impossible, for a man to feel tenderly towards the woman who pushes him. Often the man himself does not understand his resentment towards being pushed and therefore is at a loss to explain his cooled attitude towards his wife. The tension, resentments, lack of communication, and cooled attitudes which can occur in a household because of the wife's initiative in trying to change her husband should cause her to question if her objectives are worth it. Does what she hoped to accomplish in changing her husband stack up against a peaceful home atmosphere and a good marriage relationship? Which is more important to the children, to herself, and to her husband? It is doubtful that any effort a woman makes to perfect her husband is more important than love and harmony between a husband and wife. And nothing is so essential to the well-being and development of the children as happy parents. 6, it can destroy love. In severe cases, love itself can be destroyed. When a wife constantly pushes or nettles her husband, it is like the bite of a poisonous snake and can cause the destruction of a could-be holy marriage. One of the most tragic cases in history is that of the Russian novelist Count Leo Tolstoy and his wife Sophia. Oh, we're going to learn about their business. Let's learn what happened here. Let me take another sip of my flat white. Well, why are you nagging? Are you nagging to get something you want? Or are you nagging to change who he is as a person? Why are you nagging? I do feel feverish. I don't care what they say. They're like, you don't have a fever. I'm like, oh, but I feel that way. It's so cold out too. It was so, it wasn't that cold, but it was cold. Coming back home especially, it was so cold. The sun was not visible where I was at. It was just, oof. Okay. So the marriage of Tolstoy. In the beginning of their marriage, Tolstoy and his wife Sophia were so blissfully happy that kneeling together, they prayed to God to continue the ecstasy that was theirs. Tolstoy is one of the most famous novelists of all time. Two of his masterpieces, War and Peace and Anna Karenina. I've never read it. Anna Karenina. Is it Karenina or Karenina? I don't know. Are considered literary treasures. He was so admired by his people that they followed him around day and night and took down in shorthand every word he uttered. Although he was a man of wealth and fame, after studying the teachings of Jesus, he gave away his property, worked in the fields chopping wood and pitching hay, made his own shoes, ate out of a wooden bowl, and tried to love his enemies. He gave away the publishing rights to his books and had the courage of his convictions to live a life he believed in. Why do you have to do that? You have to do all that. He ate out of a wooden bowl. Like, okay. What is the significance of eating out of a wooden bowl? I don't get it. Like, is that more holy? I don't understand. Oh, Matthew's joke. Adam said, God, I want a soulmate. God said it'll cost an arm and a leg. Adam said, what can I get for a rib? Hi, Clay. Clay's here. He said that Marilyn Monroe mole thing looks cool. Thank you. Although I think hers was like over here or something. It was above her lip. But thank you. I wonder if I should try that sometime above the lip. I haven't. Okay, another sip here. Man. And I'm noticing now, looking at my poster I hung, that it's just not looking quite right. Maybe I'll need to ask somebody to help me with it. I don't know. Okay. But Sophia never accepted him or his simple philosophy of life. She loved luxury and he despised it. Well, I mean, did she marry him with luxury? I mean, I'd be kind of ticked too if we're living like, a luxurious lifestyle and then all of a sudden he's given away all his wealth and wants me to eat out of a like wooden bowl and like chop wood. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this? What is this? She craved fame and the esteem of society, but these things meant nothing to him. She longed for money and riches, but he thought these things a sin. For years, she made every effort to change him and his views. She screamed at him because he insisted on giving away the publishing right to his books. When he opposed her, she threw herself into fits of hysteria, threatening to kill herself or jump down the well. I mean, I don't know. I can kind of see where she's coming from. Oh, you think I should get a face tat, Clay? If it works? I don't know, man. I can kind of relate to Sophia here. Like, what the? I'd probably be acting similarly. Like, what are you doing? What about our future? What about our place in society? Like, what about their kids? What if they have kids and he's like, oh no, this is all a sin. And you're thinking of like, well, what are we going to like leave behind to our kids if you're like giving away all of your like wealth, even the wealth that you earned of your own efforts? I'd be ticked. After 48 years, this man who had adored his wife when he married her could hardly bear the sight of her. And one of the most tragic scenes was when Countess Tolstoy, heartbroken and old and starving for affection, would kneel at her husband's feet and beg him to read aloud the exquisite love passages he had written about her in his diary 50 years previously. And as he read of those beautiful, happy days that were now gone forever, both of them wept. His dying request was that she should not be permitted to come into his presence. I don't know. I'm on her side here. I'm on her side. Like, really? That's tough. Like, you marry your count and countess. You're used to your lifestyle, and he's just like, oh no, we're gonna do all this. F what you want. I mean, like, it's one thing if he wants to live aesthetically, but like the fact that, it didn't just impact him, it impacted her too. I don't like this story. I don't know. What am I gonna, I don't know what to take from it exactly. And he's like, he hates her because, he drove her mad. How would you even like cope with that? Because they're aristocracy, she was a part of the aristocracy. How would you cope with like dealing with that in life? That must have been terrible for her. And then he was like, didn't even want to be around her. I know, Cecil. I know, girl. Me too. I'm like, that is brutal. His dying request was that she should not be permitted to come into his presence. No, Natalie G. Winters. It was because he grew to despise her because she didn't appreciate the changes he made to their lifestyle. Okay, well, let's move on. We've processed this enough. Let's see what wisdom we're going to get from it. 7, it doesn't work. Men do not change by being pushed and nettled. If women's efforts to change their men really worked, there would be some merit in it, but it is a poor approach doomed to failure. Did Tolstoy change? Did he heed his wife's suggestions? No. He opposed them to his dying day. Men do not change in this way. But, you might say, I know a woman who tried to change her husband, and she was successful. Don't let this mislead you. If you will examine the matter carefully, you will find that he changed not due to his wife's persuasion, but because he found another incentive for changing, one that she doesn't realize, and he may have changed much sooner without her push. 8, resentment. Not only do women's efforts fail to change a man, but they often bring out a resentful streak in him. This is caused by his struggle to maintain his freedom. I have a son who occasionally says, "Mother, don't tell me to do it or I won't want to." This indicates how men feel at heart. They, in fact, sometimes turn against the very thing which they want. An impression illustration, resentment. A woman became converted to a particular religion and was very devoted to it. She tried to interest her husband, but he did not respond. She kept after him day and night, but each effort was fruitless. Hello, Frederick. Hello, Maina. Good to see you both. One evening, she arranged secretly for the missionaries of her church to drop by at dinner time. She felt that her husband would feel obligated to invite them in and be friendly. She also arranged that they have with them materials from which they could preach to him after the meal. Hello, Zenny. Everything went exactly as planned, for just as they were sitting down at the table, the missionaries rang the doorbell. After an enjoyable, friendly meal, the wife said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we had these two gentlemen explain a little about the church?" Due to moral pressure and courtesy, he agreed. As the missionaries were assembling their materials, flannel board, books, and pictures, the poor man felt trapped. Oh, I imagine so. I imagine so. I would, yeah, how awkward. Hope all is well. I'm okay. Uh, I don't know. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day, to be honest. But I'm alive and I'm here. He excused himself to go to the bathroom, climbed out the bathroom window, and disappeared. He was gone for 3 days. After 3 days of searching, the desperate wife turned to her church for help. Several of the leaders came to her rescue and started looking for him. After an extensive search, he was found. In questioning him, it was discovered that he had no intention of returning to his home at all. However, due to the kindly persuasion of the gentleman that found him and his wife's promises that she would never mention religion again, he returned to his home. The wife kept her promise to the letter, and the man began to relax in peace. The impressive part of this story is the following experience. The gentleman who found him became quite well acquainted with the husband, who confessed, I don't have anything against your church. In fact, I have for some time wanted to know more about it, but not from my wife. Secretly, he learned more about his wife's religion, became converted to it, and quietly became a member of it. Then one morning in church, the bishop arose and announced there was a new member of his congregation, gave his name, and asked him to come to the rostrum. The wife was so overjoyed that she burst into tears. Yeah, urgent care was okay to me. I mean, it was a quick visit, and thankfully things aren't too bad. Oh, it will require some work, over the coming weeks, but I'll be okay. Shout out to Samuel. Good to see you. Oh, hey, thank you, Natalie. Natalie G. Winters sent me a super sticker. I'm sorry, I can't see it. Let me pull it up on my phone here. Check out the super sticker you sent me. I don't know why I see other people on StreamYard show off their cute little super stickers, but mine don't pop up. I don't get it. Oh, okay. It's a kissing peach. Or not peach, excuse me, a kissing pear. Thank you for the kissing pear. Oh, wow. Hello, Jamie Russell. Good to see you. Helen Andelin was born and died the same year as my grandmother. Whoa. Interesting. Okay, let me close this. Thank you again, Natalie G. Winters. I appreciate it. Helps fund the channel. Helps keep little hangouts like this going. Okay. Another illustration of resentment. Another woman caused a resentful streak to appear in her husband. When she first married him, she made many suggestions about trivial matters. She tried to reform his eating habits, encouraged him to take more baths, and to take them more thoroughly. Oh my goodness. I mean, why did you marry him if he couldn't bathe? My goodness. And to take better care of his appearance. She had been taught the importance of nutrition, but her husband came from a family that thought it unimportant. It was especially irritating to him to be deprived of certain foods which he had been used to. This infringement upon his freedom caused him to eat especially unwholesome foods while away from home, and he began drinking. Her suggestions were towards health, so his behavior was against health. In a sense, it was give me liberty or give me death. Hi, Yoda. Yoda in the chat. Okay, well, we've already been over that. I don't know why you're bringing up St. Patrick again. She has not been successful in changing him, and he has continued his resentful habits to this day. Not all men react so violently against suggestions, but even the more sensible ones are resentful towards the women who try to change them. Exactly, Zenny. He was a little stinky. You're right, Yoda. You were right, I was wrong. We're going to sing the You Were Right song. Good job, Yoda. You were right. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel good that you were right? Does he say that, Zenny? I don't know how I feel about the name either, Frederick. It's a little bit better than that last name, though. Calvin's, aka Freddy's, whatever. I don't know. It's a weird name. Almost done with my flat white. Okay. Y'all, good to see you, but I gotta. No, Yoda's other name is Old Mud Duck. Old Mud Duck. Okay, excuse me. As you can see from the 4 problems that I have just illustrated, women's efforts to change men are invariably unsuccessful, and that they lead to marriage problems, tend to destroy love, and do not bring about any change in the man. I think it's the same thing, Fred. The plan that works. There is a plan whereby a man can change, and it is called freedom. It is not 100% sure, but it is the only possible way a man can grow. It is the only effective plan and the only way to man's happiness. It is also the only setting for love to flourish. Free agency is one of the most fundamental laws of life. Mankind does not develop, nor is he happy without it. God was fully aware of this eternal principle when he created man and placed him on the earth. He allowed the forces of evil to be present, although he knew from the beginning that many of the precious souls of men would fall into sin and reap the bitterness that comes from disobedience. But he also knew that without freedom, mankind cannot develop. Man has to be given a choice, and he has to make that choice himself. If the Lord could risk man's future happiness and well-being in order to extend to him his precious freedom, why then cannot women allow men the same privilege? Why not let him do the things he wants to do, be the kind of man he wants to be without interference? But, she might say, in my efforts to improve my husband, I do not take away his freedom, for I never insist on anything, nor do I use any element or force. But it is not by compulsion, but in the more subtle ways that we interfere. It is by the following that we take away a man's freedom. Ooh. Hello, Stiz. Good to see you. Stiz is here, guys. I know. All right, let's see. How are we going to manipulate the men, ladies? Oh, wait, no, hold up. This is how we take away their freedom. How to take away a man's freedom. 1, moral pressure. 2, hinting. 3, disapproval. 4, pushing, nagging. 5, suggestions. 6, open criticism. Every man wants to live in peace. Every man wants approval. When you use moral pressure, you make him choose between his freedom and peace in the household. Sometimes he chooses peace and sacrifices his freedom. For example, a young couple who were guests in my home planned a day at the beach. As they were leaving, the girl asked her husband, "Aren't you going to wear your dark glasses?" He told her that he deliberately left them for he didn't want to be bothered. She tried to insist, but he held his ground. After they were in the car, I heard the car door open and the man came back for his glasses. All he said was, "Anything to keep peace." Interesting. There are times when a man will give up his precious freedom temporarily because his wife makes it so tough for him that he has no alternative. But not always will he sacrifice freedom for peace. Many times a man will cling devotedly to his freedom at all costs. Ooh, wow. A young wife told me that each Sunday morning she merely asked her husband, "Are you planning to attend church this morning?" Although he wanted to please his wife, this gentle hint so irritated him that he stayed home just to hold on to his freedom. He had nothing against church, but if he attended, he wanted it to be his idea. As soon as she stopped hinting, he began attending more regularly. Yeah, Mena, the chat's missed you. They've been asking after you. They're like, "Where is she?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Hi, South to West. Good to see you. Religious freedom is precious. Our very nation was founded on the principle of religious liberty. The Pilgrims left Europe to attain this precious freedom. When we attempt to drive men to church, we more often drive them away. Not only is pushing unsuccessful, but it is unrighteous. The few women who have successfully pushed their husbands into church activity take credit for it under false illusions. Their men would have come into activity much sooner with freedom, appreciation, and a shining example. Such men have found some other reason for attendance at church than the woman realizes. I think you're right about that, Fred. Oh no, C-Cell. That was so extra today when he said that. It was like, oh my. Oh my, the drama. Okay. Or maybe it was yesterday he said it. Whenever he said it, it was quite funny though, wasn't it? No, you're right about that, Fred. Of course. Who doesn't love their trolls? You gotta love your trolls. Why wouldn't somebody love their trolls? Okay. Now where am I? Guys, where was I? Provoked a man to righteousness. There are some women who have been taught to provoke their husbands to righteousness. But the word provoke does not mean what is commonly implied. The true meaning of the word is to incite, or to inspire, or to arouse. It does not mean to nettle or to push. Some women are self-righteous. Why do women try to change men? Do they sometimes have a self-righteous attitude? Perhaps they feel that they put forth more effort into doing what is right, try more diligently to make marriage successful, are more active in church, and are better persons than their husbands. They look down on men and therefore feel that the men, not themselves, need to improve. Bingo! Ooh, truth bomb right there. Truth bomb. The Sadducees and the Pharisees in the Bible sometimes had this self-righteous attitude. They were faithful to attend church, paid tithes, prayed, read the scriptures, fasted, observed any number of rituals, but Jesus called them hypocrites, not because of their faithfulness, but because of their self-righteousness. Explain, please. I've triggered Hake. Yeah, you did a good job, old mud duck. You sure did. Indeed, indeed, yeah. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. You know? Explain, please. Oh, explain what? The truth bomb? Well, I mean, I'm thinking of like how women do look down on men a lot, I think. I think a lot of women see themselves as more moral than the men in their lives. And yeah, I think a lot of their desire to change men's behavior comes from the presumption that, they're more moral or more righteous. And it's a judgment. I think, this isn't just a problem of women. This is a problem of humanity. It's very easy to judge other people and not like look at ourselves and, you know, really put our eyes on what we can do and what we can fix. I have noticed that you women do tend to see themselves as more righteous or holy than they are. Well, I don't remember him losing his S word, Yoda. I don't remember that. Yeah, that's true. It is egomania. Woman is in no position to judge a man's worth. Can you set yourself up as a judge? Are you in reality better than he? A girl confessed to me many serious faults which her husband had, and then I said, "Do you really think that you are better than he is?" At first, she looked at me with indignation. Then, after quiet meditation, she bowed her head and said humbly, "No, I don't think I am a better person than my husband. I know he is a fine man at heart." The right attitude. It is ourselves we must change. We have been told to cast out the beam from our own eye first, and then we will more clearly see the mote which is in our brothers. Women who try to change their men trample on their freedom and violate timeless principles. Will he change? You might wonder, if I accept him at face value, is there any hope that he himself might make some effort to improve? Who is to say? You must accept the fact that he may not. But in a mysterious way, men are very apt to improve when they are fully accepted and given their freedom. The only hope that a man will change is for you to not try to change him. Others may try to change him, teach him, and offer suggestions, but the woman he loves must accept him for the man he is. If men get to heaven, they want it to be their idea. If they go to church, they want it to be their idea. If they make improvement in their character, their health, their personality, or their business, they want it to be from their own initiative. And when given such freedom, they are very apt to change for the better. Let me illustrate. Oh, hello, Iron Man. Iron Man, are you new here? Everybody say hi to Iron Man. He's new here. Yeah, we know, Frederick. We know. As taking a bath is good. I'd love to take a bath. I haven't had a bath in a while. It's been all showers for months and months. I was at Whole Foods today and I was looking at the bath bombs. They have those really ridiculous bath bombs for sale there, and I was like thinking, oh, it'd be nice. Of course, I didn't get any. I did get a nice dinner from the hot bar though. It's really satisfying. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you're right about that. Make Yankee. Yeah. Hello, Kilo Alpha Tango. Mina, stop being rude. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Now I'm feeling a little awkward. I'm like, thank you. And then I'm like, oh, I know Mina is lucky she got a wrench. Gregatron will assist me with the bath. You think so? Will he lift me in and out of it with his massive arms? Where is Gregatron? Where is he? I haven't seen him in the chat yet. I really did Greg call Joelle today. I missed Joelle's show. Guys, I had like just a little side. So I had like a performance review at work, and that was when I told my boss about like the health issues I've been having, and he was like, yeah, you need to get to like urgent care and get it figured out. So, hi Sandman, doing good. I guess I'll have to listen to Joelle's show today. Maybe when I crying because Ye got a baddie. I don't know. Y'all thinking about that? I mean, I don't want to get into it. I've had an outbreak of ulcers. You guys know that I have a autoimmune disorder, and I haven't been eating well lately. So, because of that, I thought I had maybe an abscess actually, but I had the doctor look at it, and it's just I have an ulcer, or I have a couple ulcers. So basically, I'm gonna have to be dealing with that, improving my diet, and basically cutting out a bunch of stuff from my diet for the next few weeks. So I am not at risk of being fired due to DEI, because I was not hired due to DEI. I was hired due to nepotism. Oh, you have a copy of it, Stacy? Hello, Claude. It is moi, le Claude. Name them Fred and Yoda. Thank you, Zenny. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I might as well get into it. Kanye West and his wife, his second wife, I mean, I find it disturbing. I don't know why any woman would conduct herself in such a way. Like, it's totally degrading. I can recommend a vegetables diet. No, I think I'll be eating more meat and avoiding like most. I mean, I will be eating some vegetables, but I have to stay off of like the carbs and the sweets and pretty much everything good. You think so, Matthew? Maybe. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know. Y'all, I can't. I mean, I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I just know that I don't know. What's his wife's name? Bianca something. I don't like it. I don't like him. I also don't like the way it looks. He's always fully clothed, and she's just in some kind of nakedness. I find it really perverted and inappropriate, and I don't want to see it, you know? And I don't know what kind of ego trip he's on, you know, that he's doing that with this woman. I really don't get what the deal is, but I don't like it. Okay, I mean, that's just my feelings about it. She's a beautiful woman. I'll give her that. But I find it creepy every time I see them, like any picture of them. Watch the clip. What clip? Guys, I don't want to watch. Did something happen? Was it, I don't know, did they go to the Grammys and did something perverted, like Hollywood makes you weird? No. Am I wearing an oriental top? Yes, I'm wearing an oriental dress. For I believe in cultural appropriation. Okay, thank you. I suppose they went to the Grammys and did something perverted. Well, I guess that was probably the most interesting thing that happened at the Grammys. Yes, Jamie, they're talking about Kanye and his naked wife. Kanye and his naked wife. His wife got naked on the red carpet. That is so gross. An urgent care gown, thanks. Oh, hey, Hurricane Caro. Good to see you. Guys, okay, let me get back into the book. We don't need to be talking about my ulcers or like Kanye West's naked wife. Is it Japanese? It is Chinese style. Okay. Let's see. Success story. Yeah, let's. Ew, Yoda. Nina, you know for a fact that I wouldn't be getting naked in front of nobody. Come on. Come on. Mena. I wouldn't like this is the thing. She has a free will of her own. I don't let her off the hook. I mean, I complain about him because it's clearly some kind of ego trip to him, but the fact that she even goes along with it is so gross. So gross. It's very gross. They're just gross. Like, we get it, you're mad at your ex. That's all it seems to me. It's like, he marries a woman that looks like a younger version of her and then parades her around naked. Like, it's just, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. Okay, let's go back to the book. I'm trying to figure out how to be a fascinating woman here. Okay? I'm trying to figure out how to be a good, fascinating woman that knows all that, Mormon witchcraft that they be doing, those Mormon gals. Okay. You will remember the girl who tried to change her husband's eating habits. Another girl of my acquaintance used an opposite approach, one of complete freedom. She also came from a family with strict eating habits, but she supported complete freedom to her husband. Soon after they were married, she said sweetly to him, "Now, honey, I know that I have been trained to eat a different way than you, but do you mind if I prepare for myself the foods I want, and I will do the same for you?" He agreed, and she did this for many months, but after a while he adopted her good eating habits and was preaching their value to others. Men are usually sensible. They want what is right and best for them, but more than anything else, they want their precious freedom. Success story. A woman was engaged to marry a man of a different religion than her own. Her religion was very important to her, and she hoped that if she married him, he would eventually join her church. She sought counsel from a very wise man who told her, "If you do marry this man, make nothing of his religious differences to him openly. Do not attempt to change his views. If he wants to go to his church, go with him. Give him complete freedom, but hold to your ideals and be the living example of what your religion teaches." I know. I love this chapter too, Seasal. This book is full of good gems. And it's actually reminding me of another book I read last year or the year before. It was The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands by Dr. Laura Schlesinger, which I thought was amazing. That book like woke me up big time to like how women like really sabotage their marriages. And just, how easy it is, how really simple it is to, not be miserable, Your friend married a Mormon woman. Yeah, so you know about that Mormon witchcraft. She used that Mormon witchcraft on him and seduced him. It didn't go well. Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. I guess she kind of do. Would a woman ask to be converted to her husband's belief? I mean, how do you change someone's beliefs, Oh my goodness, Claude. He gently whispered in her ear as he caressed her lithe cheeks as the sting of love overcame his senses. Claude, you are crazy. Okay. She did marry the man, and she followed the wise man's advice. He did ask her to attend his church with him, which she did willingly. In return, he was willing to attend hers. By comparing the two, he soon became convinced that his wife's church was superior to his own, and he became a member of it. Wow. In your attempt to accept your man at face value, many problems may come your way. What do you do when his faults continue to irritate you and you find them difficult to overlook? What do you do when he does something ignoble, far below your standards? In accepting him, you must also give up any of your own ideals or virtues. What do you do if he mistreats you? Must you also accept this? He called him a simp. I'm sure they had like petty differences, and he just found that her church was like, I know, I'm kind of curious as well about what religion they hold. But I don't know. I mean, maybe like he started attending her church and he just liked it better. Maybe he felt like he fit him there better. Maybe like, I don't know. It couldn't have been a Southern Baptist. Oh my. I don't know. We must know, but they do not tell. All of these questions I will answer one by one. Look to his better side. Once you come to accept a man at face value, you cannot stop, or I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Hello, raptured to hell. Dang, raptured to hell? Not hell. Well, thankfully, Freddie and Mena both hold on to their, both have a wrench, I should say. Look to his better side. Once you come to accept a man at face value, you can stop worrying about his faults. This is made easy if you will look at his better side and concentrate on that. For years, you may have been so concerned about improving him that you have overlooked his virtues. Some men are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it is only by recognizing and continually believing in their better side that you can help a man, a child, or any individual to grow. Try to imagine that your husband is painted partly bright and partly dull. Then turn the dull side out of view so that only the bright shows. You know the dull is there, but you are not looking at it. You see only the bright. Then tell him that you appreciate his better side and be specific. It will help your discovery of his better side if you understand that there are virtues behind many of men's faults. For example, an obnoxious man is sometimes a sign of a high caliber man that is not appreciated, not accepted, not given his freedom, or in some way mistreated by his wife. A man who is moody and discouraged is often a man with extremely high aspirations that are not being met. A man who is forgetful, negligent, thoughtless is sometimes a man who has great mental capacity and is using his mind for greater things than what appear to be important details to you. A man who, let's see, a man who appears lazy and negligent at home may very well be a man who is putting all his energies towards making his life away from home a success and becoming a good provider. What to do when he does something wrong? If your husband is at times dishonest, unkind, weak, or shows lack of character, you may wonder just how to react. You accept him at face value, but if you completely overlooked an evil act, it displays weakness in your own character. Okay, here we go. Now we're walking the tightrope. The thing to do is to first show reluctance to believe it. Say that you thought it was not possible for a man such as him to do such a thing. If you are compelled to believe it, indicate that you know it is contrary to his true nature, and that was only the result of carelessness or thoughtlessness. You must be immensely disappointed at his temporary lapse, but your faith in his better side must be unshaken. I didn't think I don't know. I mean, how do you do that? I'm trying to think. It sounds a little manipulative, but I get it. Hello to Zealot's Den. Good to see you. When he mistreats you, must you accept a man at face value when he mistreats you and just overlook it? I am referring to times when he may be thoughtless, unfair, impose on you, neglect you too far, or is extremely harsh or critical. Oh, yeah, I know about the Mormon crazy heaven views, man. Yeah, it's wild, Jamie. They got some fun ideas about heaven. Stop it, Claude. Okay, guys, stop distracting me with your hilarious comments. Come on. Okay. Man is entitled to many freedoms, but he does not have the right to mistreat you. You are a human being, worthy of respect and consideration, and it is important to both of you that you maintain self-dignity. In fact, it is difficult for a man to feel romantic towards a woman whom he can mistreat. That is true. That is true. It is likewise difficult for her to feel romantic towards the man who mistreats her. One of the high rewards which comes from living the whole of fascinating womanhood is consideration and respect from one's husband. However, one need not wait until such a high goal is achieved to command respect and proper treatment. Knowing how to handle these difficult situations is one of the charming arts of fascinating womanhood. Y'all, okay, I need to stop paying attention to you for a while. I lost my spot now. Look at you guys. You got me lose my spot. Let me reread that last sentence. I didn't finish it. Knowing how to handle these difficult situations is one of the charming arts of fascinating womanhood and will be taught in chapter 18. The question may arise, how to hold your own ideals. The question may arise in accepting a man at face value, should I ever lower my own standards to meet his and thereby make him feel more accepted? The answer is no. He will not respect you for it. A man likes to consider women as finer, better, and holier than him. And therefore, it would be a disappointment to him to see you fall from your own level onto his. You owe it to yourself and the development of your angelic side to always maintain as high a standard as possible. Okay, so when he goes low, don't go lower. That's tough, ladies. I know. You know, when men tick you off, you want to go, right for the throat. But we can't do that. We gotta work on our angelic side. The question may also arise, is there ever a time when you should try to change a man? No. He must be accepted at face value, but there is a time, as I briefly mentioned before, when you should try to open his eyes to his own mistakes, but only in a particular situation. When a man is blind to his own mistakes. Often a man is blind to his own mistakes, and such blindness causes him to get into difficulty with his associates or fail to reach success. On these occasions, his wife should try to open his eyes. Take, for example, the salesman who uses a poor approach, or the department supervisor who is too dictatorial to his fellow employees, or the doctor who is losing patients because he appears unfriendly, or even the man who is shunned because his body has odors. There we go again with these stinky men. Hi, Mateus. Good to see you. How you doing? Chapter 2, tell him he's a great air guitarist. Oh, I'll write that one down, Matthew. On these occasions, his wife should alert him. He will not resent if it is done in the right way. Often others who observe his mistakes are not interested enough to awaken him, or might feel it not their business to do so. His wife may be the only one who cares enough to help about him to help. The proper approach. Oh no, I don't want to be lied to about that, Fred. I want it to be true. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Keep in mind that you do accept him. Keep in mind that you do accept him. It is the world that does not. Others are offended, not you. Tell him you have a few ideas which might prove helpful. Let him know that you are not close to the situation as he is and that you could be wrong. But could this be the cause of the trouble? Assure him that you admire him and isn't it regrettable that others do not appreciate him for his true worth? Ooh. Oh, you're in the sauna? Nice. Once you have opened his eyes, do not persist in the matter. Drop it completely. If he continues to make mistakes, fully aware of them, you must allow him this freedom. Be certain that he is actually unaware of his mistakes, and also be certain that it is causing him difficulty. A woman asked me if she should correct her husband's grammar, which was obviously poor. In inquiring about it, I found out that he was extremely successful and had approval of many friends. I told her that I felt it unnecessary to say anything about it. When you give your opinions or corrections to your husband, be feminine. Don't appear to know more about his business than he does. Don't be motherly, and don't talk man to man. Hello, Nick. Nick says, "Hi, Terry. It's lovely to meet you." Nice to meet you as well, Nick. I am indeed charmed. Yes, I know, Stacy. Stacy does be talking man to man in the chat sometimes. Mm. We have learned the importance of acceptance and that if we try to change a man, we are doomed to fail. This will create marriage problems and may cause a man to become resentful. We have also learned that it is difficult, if not impossible, for a man to love the woman who pushes him, corrects him, or tries to improve him. We know now that we are in no position to judge a man's worth, and that we tend to do this because of our self-righteous attitudes. It is ourselves we need to change, not our husbands. We must look to his better side, and if we want to become Angela human and win his celestial love, we must accept him at face value. You think my makeup is beautiful? Thank you. You like that? I did the kind of like light green eyeshadow today, kind of sparkly almost. But not much. Yeah, just the eyeshadow, a little dot, little lip stain, little mascara. Oh, a little bit of highlighter. Oh, and then powder off, top it all off. Pretty quick little makeup. I don't even think I did, didn't do much. You don't need a lot to do a lot. All right. Some to whom I have taught this philosophy say that it is difficult to accept a man and therefore have stopped trying. Admittedly, acceptance is not easy to live, but it is based upon a solid principle, and one might as well stop trying to become a good person as to stop accepting a man at face value. There are several steps to acceptance or rules to observe. Steps to acceptance. 1. Get rid of any self-righteous attitude. Approach this from a moral standpoint, realizing that a self-righteous attitude is a sin and shows lack of humility and therefore lack of character. 2. Look to his better side. Acceptance is made easier if you concentrate on his virtues and develop an appreciation of his better side, and tell him of your appreciation. In this way, he will grow, and his faults will soon cease to annoy you. Oh, dang. Everybody, Jamie's doxing his age. Come on, y'all. Let's dox our ages in chat, y'all. Face value is just how things are in this very moment. Not how things may be in the future, not how things were in the past. What we're looking at right now in front of us. Face value. He didn't give his pronouns. No pronouns on this stream. Okay, 3. Don't use other men. What's my face value? What's your face value? Oh, goodness. Stop it. Stop it. It's just who you are in front of us today, I mean, it's solid advice, and I think that's very important when you're, meeting men, talking to them. Like, a lot of people, they'll get, well, women especially, I'll say this. I don't think men do this as much because they tend to just like accept you at face value. You know, they aren't looking at your potential as much. I mean, in some ways they do, but they don't look at you and think, oh man, if she did this and this and this, she'd be attractive to me. You know, they're either like attractive to you or not. But with men, I think women do this thing of thinking like, oh, if he did this and this and this, then, you know, he'd just be perfect, instead of just like accepting what's in front of them, or like, you know, letting that man go. Thank you, Stacy. That's nice. Really? That's nice. Okay. Guys, okay, I gotta get back into this. It's just a couple more pages of this chapter. We're gonna get through it. Don't use other men as shining examples. Women often use a brother, father, an outstanding man of the community, or even her own son as a shining example of manhood, thinking that by so doing, her husband will try to copy the other man's virtues. Why would you use your son as an example for your husband to be like? That's wild. That's wild. Like, your son? Women do that with their sons, though, you know, like, it's weird. There's weird stuff between moms and sons sometimes. Like, but yeah. Why would you compare your husband to his own son? Like, that's his son. Anyway, I'm sure it goes on, though. Okay, thinking that by so doing, her husband will try to copy the other man's virtues. This is a demonstration of the woman's efforts to change her husband and must be eliminated if a man is to feel accepted. The blow to his ego is an even more serious effect. 4. Tell him that you accept him. It is difficult for some women to break the ice. I have given some practical assignments at the end of this chapter of just what to say to him if you are in doubt. It is not enough to merely think about it. You must tell him. Our reward. What reward can we expect for all of our efforts? I can promise you that it is love that you will receive in return. When you cast your bread upon the waters, it comes back buttered. Love is the central message of this book, and I have stated in the beginning that a woman has the power to arouse a man's feelings towards her. Acceptance is the first, most vital step towards this goal. When you truly accept a man, you awaken some of his deepest sentiments towards you. And when you give a man his freedom, allow him to be the kind of man he wants to be, you gain a strange power over him. It is part of the power of fascinating womanhood. I know boy moms are a problem out here. Did you all see that video, or that video clip of that mom who ran onto the field while her son was like playing a football game, or it just finished, and she leapt up on him, like, and he was holding her like she was a little girl? That freaked me out. Like, or like she was his girlfriend or something. Like, she leapt on him and he like picked her up. Like, it freaked me out. I was like, that's your teen son holding you in a way like that he shouldn't be holding you. Well, they do that for their health, Jamie. 11, good God. Imagine 11 years. Oh, Maina. All right. And when you accept him, you will cease being concerned about his faults and will therefore be able to see more clearly his virtues. You will appreciate him more, love him more, and he will offer you love. Tenderness and other kindnesses you had not thought possible, as in the following true experiences. Ooh. You remember at Seasal? You know, people thought she was his girlfriend. I know, it was so inappropriate. Oh, Stacy, my cousin does that with her son. In every photo, she is pawing and kissing on him. Yeah, these moms need to stop it. No, I don't think so, Claude. It's so inappropriate, or like they get competitive with their son's girlfriends. Ugh. Like there's all kinds of weird things. Ugh. It's so gross. Like, why are you like so inappropriate with your son? Okay, success story. A girl had a darling husband, but he had some habits she disapproved of, especially his use of tobacco. She insisted he go into their cellar to smoke, even though she had accepted this in him when they were married. After learning the philosophy of fascinating womanhood, she realized how awful she had been. When he came home that night, she confessed her feelings, asking for forgiveness for the terrible way she had treated him, and told him that she accepted him as he was. The man was so tenderly touched that he cried. Beta! Later that evening, he told her that he loved her for the first time in 2 years, and he slept with his arm around her all night. Success story. My husband has been quite a fellow to go out with the boys almost every night until dawn. Each time I have been extremely aggravated with him. After understanding the principle of acceptance, however, I tried a different approach. One night I had dinner on the table and had called him to eat when one of his buddies came to the door, wanting him to go out for a while. He got his coat on and told me where he was going and not to wait up for him. Although my first impulse was to hit the ceiling, I caught myself and said, "Oh, I think that's a good idea. You really need to get away for a while. Have a good time, and I'll have something for you to eat when you come home." His reaction was one of great surprise, as it was to his friend. He did go, but in about 45 minutes he was back home in very happy spirits with a box of candy for me. He spent the rest of the evening just talking with me and helping me. Aww, isn't that sweet? I know 2 years is a long time not to hear "I love you" from your husband. I mean, I don't know. I do think it is kind of common. I would hate that though. I would hate to, not never hear "I love you" or never have any affection. That would be so painful. I've heard that happens a lot too. Like they just don't even like won't even, I mean, but you see how it happens though. People can like cool and become, rather difficult with one another. So, anyway, let us continue. Success story. A married girl who had been trampling on her husband's religious freedoms had the following to tell. When she realized her mistake, she said to him, "You are the most important thing in life to me. I want you to be happy. I realize how wrong I have been to try to push you into church activity." The man got a peculiar look on his face. Something happened within him. He said, "If you are this fair with me, I will be equally fair with you. Before I have thought I would like you to give up your church activity, but now I want you to have the freedom to continue." Success story. Another one. Another case was that of a woman who had already visited a lawyer seeking divorce, but when taught this doctrine, she determined to give her marriage another try. The first words she said to her husband were, "May I have some of your precious time? I would like to ask forgiveness for not understanding you all this time. Will you allow me the privilege of showing you that I have learned the importance of understanding you? I want you to know how wrong I've been about you all these years. I am happy that you are the kind of man you are and that you are not like putty in my hands and have had the courage of your convictions all these years." Oh. A very strange look appeared on his face, and she could detect that something was happening inside of him. She went to her work in a beauty shop, but about midday, her husband, who had been previously indifferent, spiteful, and negligent, called her on the phone and said, "I hate to think of you on this miserable day, working so hard. Why don't you close up shop and come home?" She did, and when she arrived, he had a dinner date planned for the two of them. The following day, she was leaving the house, and he noticed a run in her hose. She told him it was the last pair she had, to which he said, "I'll see to it that you have a supply." The following day, he bought her 6 pairs. Ooh, 6 pairs of hose, huh? He also bought her a new bed, although they had not been sleeping together. And I was informed that they are now sleeping together. Yay! A few days later, this man who had never been helpful or accommodating was down to his wife's shop fixing her hair dryers. And this is similar to the success you will feel if you accept your man at face value. The men in these cases read no books nor took any classes about how to treat a woman. The woman aroused his feelings and his actions herself. It isn't necessary for the man to know anything about this subject. You can win his heart and devotion by the way you treat him. Mina, no, stop it. Stop it. Stop it, Mina. That's true, Frederick. But I find this book interesting. I find it useful to think about these things. Mina, stop it. No. Matthew and I are not going to happen. Stop trying to make Matthew and I happen. No, arouse does not always mean that, Jamie. Arouse can mean to stir to life, to bring to, it doesn't just mean that. I'll marry her when you stop drinking. Dang. We've already been over this, Matthew and I. Come on, guys. Stop. I don't wish to discuss it. Stop it. Just stop. Okay, your assignment, an icebreaker. The following is an illustration of what you might say to your husband to let him know you accept him. I'm happy that you are the kind of man you are. I can see that I have not understood you in the past and that I have made many mistakes. I am glad that you have not allowed me to push you around and have not been like putty in my hands, but have had the courage of your convictions. Will you forgive me and let me prove to you how happy I am that you are just as you are? At first, you may feel insincere by telling him these things, for all of your critical attitudes may not have disappeared. But do tell him regardless and look to his better side. If you continue to express yourself, it will help you to grow towards full acceptance. Remember to... Oh, dear. Remember to observe all 4 of the steps to acceptance. 1, get rid of your self-righteous attitude. 2, look to his better side. 3, do not use other men as shining examples. And 4, express your acceptance. And that was chapter 3. I do not feel I have it in me to continue on with chapter 4 tonight, though, guys. I think I will have to stop reading there tonight. What did you all think? It's interesting, isn't it? I think there's a lot of sound advice in here. I like how it focuses on, not trying to change others, but trying to change ourselves, I mean, because there is no changing others. People only change if they want to. And yes, men and women both want their freedom, they want their free will. And yeah, lots of stuff to poke fun at. Yeah. Kismo says the author is on point. Oh. At least I'm not all red like I was when I started, but I am still feeling a bit, I don't know, feverish. I don't know. Gonna get me to bed early tonight, I think, and sleep in tomorrow. I think I'm gonna take tomorrow off of work. I did talk with my boss about it. I think I need it. Just get more rest. I did have a little nap this afternoon. I was born in the wrong century. Yes, perhaps. Am I bored tonight? No, I've been having a good time. I mean, I'm not bored. I'm busy. I'm on my little stream, reading my little book, talking to my, peoples. Yeah, I think so too, Jamie. Well, okay, the story of how I came across this book was I heard a feminist ragging about it. So I was like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I was like, we were born in every century? You think so? Oh, Matthew, I saw that photo. I did see that photo. Should I pull it up? Let me pull up the Discord, guys. I'll show you. It was so funny. Thank you for mentioning it, Matthew. I forgot. But I did see it. It's hilarious. Okay. And let's see. I'll get here. Let me see here. No. Put out the link. If you are not in my Discord and you want to be, posting the link now in the chat. Please, come in, sign up. We'll do another watch stream soon. I sometimes will watch my little stories there, or, we'll do movie nights, and it's fun hanging out and doing that. Thank you. Thank you, Claude. You give me permission to take a pillow tonight with Claude's name on it. I mean, all the pillows are already named. I don't know. You're going to try again? Was it an AI image? It looked like it. Okay, I'm sorry. I stopped that, but here. Okay, let me see. Who kicked Curse Zero out, too? I think Doll Snatch did. Where is it? Aw. Okay, it's not in there. Where is it? It's fun. You can chat with each other when I'm not there, Is that it? No. Although that song is fun. Yes. Okay, here we go. I got it up here. Yes, they're both very handsome men. Yes. Both Matthew and Chris are very handsome. They're both very strong, handsome men. Good night, Daniel. Thank you. I appreciate the prayers because I'm not out of the weeds. So, what are you talking about? Don't talk about my friend Yoda. Okay, here it is. This funny image. Here's Matthew watching the Terri Strange chill stream. Yeah, see, Matthew gets it. The beauty mark next to her eye could place her in 1700s France, 1400s England, or 1920s America. Yeah, I could do it all. Yeah. I loved this. Just watching the Terri Strange chill stream. Uh, but yeah. Hey, I think I missed a chill stream, so I'm watching a replay. Are they? I mean, it's fun for me to watch the chill streams sometimes, but I'm glad that like even if you weren't watching it live, that it's entertaining to you to watch them. I guess it is kind of fun. Yeah, the JLP mug. Yeah, you're my friend too, but she's been my friend for decades. Come on. No, that was cool, Matthew. I love it. Let's see anything else happening in the popping off in the chat here. Yeah. Doll Snatch actually sent that picture to me. Like when she saw it, she thought it was so great. Okay, so actually somebody posted a funny video in here, so I'm gonna pull that up and maybe end the stream with that. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, yeah, let's watch this fun video together, and then I will skedaddle for the evening.
They tell me there's words that I can't say. All the stupid rules are fucking gay. I'm listening to my favorite rap song, and I just wanna sing along, nigga. I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah, I feel like saying nigga tonight. Alright, but when I'm by myself driving in my car, I say nigga with a hard R. Oh, fuck yeah. I don't care if you get your feelings hurt. Your reaction to the word is worse. I'm just trying to celebrate black art. Now please step away from my car, nigga. I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah, I feel like saying nigga tonight. Alright, but when I'm by myself driving in my car, I say nigga with a hard R. Oh fuck yeah. I sing the N-word every time I hear it. Don't blame me, I didn't write the lyrics. I'm not a hater, I just love rap songs. Please just let me sing along, nigga. I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah, I feel like saying nigga tonight. Alright, but when I'm by myself driving in my car, I say nigga with a hard R. Oh fuck yeah. I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah, I feel like saying nigga tonight. Alright, but when I'm by myself driving in my car, I say nigga with a hard R. Oh fuck yeah, I feel like saying nigga today. Oh yeah, I feel like saying nigga tonight. Alright, but when I'm by myself driving in my car, I say nigga with a hard R.
All right, shout out to Keysmo who sent me a super sticker. I'm glad y'all like that song. Wasn't that fun? Shout out to Mr. Mad. Yeah, he was where I first saw that, but somebody shared it in my. I saw when I was scrolling down. I was like, oh, there's that song that Mr. Mad shared the other night. But yeah, thank you, Keysmo. Shout out to Keysmo and Natalie G. Winters, who both sent me super stickers tonight. I'm sorry I don't see the super sticker. I'm going to have to pull it up on my phone. Let me. You like that song, Kilo Alpha Tango? Yeah. When I'm by myself driving in my car. Okay, let me pull this up. What was it? What did he send? Oh, incredible. Incredible. Thank you. A beautiful, incredible super sticker. All right, guys. Well, good night, y'all. Shout out to Natalie G. Winters and Keysmo for the super chats, super stickers, and thanks for being here and discussing this very important book with me. I'll see y'all soon. Good night.